Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In this video, we're going to be looking at the flanger that's built into the Boss Katana. Now, what is a flanger? A flanger is basically a delay type effect similar to a chorus and a phaser. But the difference with a flanger is what happens is part of the signal that comes out the output is then fed back into the front of the signal again, and that's what creates that sort of hollow, and if you want to, it creates that jet engine sort of sound. So what we're going to do today is to have a look at how I would set up a flanger. You know the drill. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, like and subscribe and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. And thank you to everyone that's bought me a coffee. I really do appreciate it. If you do want to buy me a coffee, you can do in the link below. Right, let's get to it. Right, let's start from the left-hand side. So we're going to start with rate. Now the rate, as with a lot of these time-based effects like chorus, a flanger and phaser, tends to work better if you want a more natural sound towards the lower end. So let's see what happens if we start from 0. We get this very hollow sound. Now if I turn the rate up full, so what I like to do with the rate is to keep it between, say, 20 and 30. The depth is how deep that waveform is. So for instance, let's bring it all the way back to 0. Again, we get that hollow sound. And if I turn it up full, we get a really deep sounding waveform. Now, I tend to like the depth around about 80%. So the resonance is how much resonance there is in the frequency. So let's start from 0. And let's bring it up. Now, I guess someone would use that sort of sound, but I wouldn't. So I tend to like my effects to be more natural. So I'd bring the resonance round about between 30 and 40. The manual control on this is where the center frequency is. So let's bring that back to 0. So if we bring the manual back to 0, we end up getting that hollow flanger sound, but it still gets movement. But I tend to like to bring it up to between sort of 50 and 80. But let's see what happens if we take it up to 100%. So the higher the manual is, the more of that jet engine sort of sound you're going to get out of it. So let's bring it back to, say about 70. The low cut, again, like I've explained in many of these effects, is how much of the bottom end is rolled off. So let's bring it up. Now, even at its highest level, which is 800 Hertz, which is still in your low mid sort of character, it's really usable. But if we do want to have a little bit more bottom end in it, let's just bring it back to about 165 Hertz. Right, the effect level, as I've explained in other effects, is the actual volume of the effect. Now, if I bring it back to 0, we get no signal. And if I bring it up to 100%, we get full signal. Now, the ideal way to try and have the effect level is to have it the same as if the effect was switched out. So let's do that. So it's a little bit lower. So let's just bring it down to about 85. Now the direct mix for this effect is actually quite useful. Now the direct mix is the amount of clean signal that's going to come through. So with a flanger, it is actually quite usable to even have it between, say, 10 and 30%. And that cleans up the signal just a little bit. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of that. If you want to see more videos from the Studio Rats, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.